Welcome to the I Sleep with History series. We're embarking on a journey deep into the night, a mind map where light and shadow intertwine. Today, we'll follow the path of a man born into a thunderstorm and striving to transform humanity's energy. If you're ready, dim the lights, close your eyes, or simply lie down. Take a deep breath, because tonight, we'll sleep with Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla stepped into the world on a night when the very heavens seemed to echo his arrival. The calendar marked July 10th, 1856, a fierce summer storm raging through the quaint village of Smiljan, in what is now modern-day Croatia. Amidst the relentless howling winds, the blinding flashes of lightning, and the ominous symphony of distant thunder, his mother, Nikola Tesla, endured the throes of labor by the flickering light of a candle. Legend has it that as the atmospheric chaos reached its crescendo, an anxious midwife, her face etched with worry, murmured that the child's birth under such conditions was an ill omen, proclaiming, "He will be a child of darkness." Yet his mother Nikola, possessed of an uncanny calm and profound wisdom, illuminated the room with her tranquil reply, "No, he will be a child of light." These prophetic words would not merely symbolize Nikola's physical destiny, but also the intellectual and spiritual path he was bound to forge, for he truly became a beacon, piercing through the darkness to illuminate the world. Tesla's parents were, in essence, like the opposing poles of the universe's study in contrasts that subtly shaped the budding genius. His father, Milutin, was a stern Serbian Orthodox priest, characterized by his rigorous discipline, unwavering piety, and a deeply rational, scientific outlook. As an intellectual figure, he aimed to carve out a religious and linguistic path for his son, aspiring for Nikola to follow in his own footsteps. Perhaps this rigid, structured upbringing inadvertently fueled a nascent rebellion within young Nikola, fostering his innate desire for independent thought and intellectual freedom. However, the true wellspring of Tesla's astonishing creative genius lay unequivocally with his mother, Nikola. Though she tragically lacked formal education and could neither read nor write, Nikola possessed an unparalleled mechanical ingenuity. She was renowned for her ability to design and construct intricate tools and ingenious contraptions for their household chores, often from scratch, transforming mundane tasks with her inventive spirit. This extraordinary woman, capable of memorizing entire epic poems, hundreds of verses, served as the inexhaustible spring that nourished Tesla's burgeoning imagination, imbuing him with the profound inspiration to translate abstract ideas into tangible reality. Indeed, the very roots of Tesla's genius were inextricably intertwined with this unique synthesis, the rigorous logic inherited from his father, fused with the intuitive, boundless creativity gifted by his mother. From his earliest childhood, Tesla distinguished himself from his peers, and indeed from most adults, by his astonishing mnemonic abilities. The uncanny knack for reading books just once and then reciting passages verbatim was merely a superficial indicator of his truly extraordinary cognitive capacity. Yet, his mind was an endlessly vibrant and active landscape, so much so that he frequently experienced vivid, almost blindingly luminous images and pervasive hallucinations, where the delicate boundary between reality and imagination often dissolved. He could, with startling clarity, envision the precise motion of a complex train engine or the intricate workings of an elaborate machine down to its minutest detail, literally constructing and testing these devices entirely within his mind before ever committing them to paper. He perceived these profound experiences not as symptoms of madness or peculiarity, but rather as an unparalleled gift, a unique faculty that allowed him to visualize the most complex machinery with breathtaking precision before ever engaging in. Tesla's heightened sensitivity was not confined solely to his remarkable visual faculties. It extended, with an almost agonizing intensity, to patterns, sounds, vibrations, and numbers. Throughout his life, he displayed a fascinating array of eccentric behaviors, an acute aversion to being touched on his hair, an inexplicable revulsion towards pearls, an excruciating hypersensitivity to loud noises, and, perhaps most notably, a profound, almost ritualistic obsession with the number 3. For instance, he would meticulously circle a building 3 times before entering it, and when dining, He would meticulously arrange his napkins in groups of 18, a multiple of 3. These seemingly bizarre quirks were, for him, not mere oddities, but rather manifestations of his finely tuned, hypersensitive mind, which he believed was intimately attuned to the fundamental rhythms and hidden codes of the universe. Often misunderstood, sometimes ridiculed, this young boy from Smiljan had begun to envision invisible currents of energy, communication, and even consciousness flowing through the earth and sky, silently awaiting the day they would finally be harnessed and controlled. The world, then, remained blissfully unaware that this singular, visionary mind was poised to introduce truly revolutionary ideas, concepts that would fundamentally lay the groundwork for modern civilization itself. His childhood years were merely the nascent phase. The seeds of a profound genius, destined to reshape the future, were quietly, imperceptibly taking root. As Nikola Tesla matured, so too did the boundless scope of his aspirations. While his contemporaries plunged into the innocent pursuits of games and recreation, Tesla was driven by an unyielding, almost visceral inner calling. The world, in his extraordinary perception, was not merely a collection of known facts but an intricate, sprawling enigma awaiting profound elucidation. He relentlessly sought to decipher the intricate workings of the planet's magnetic fields, to unravel the enigmatic secrets behind avian migrations, to comprehend the distant gleam of celestial stars, and, crucially, to grasp the profound potential of extracting energy directly from the very ground beneath his feet, from the ethereal atmosphere that enveloped all. His voracious hunger for knowledge transcended the purely academic realm. It was profoundly experiential, propelled by an inherent, almost desperate desire to truly comprehend and intimately interact with the world around him, guided by a deep, unwavering impulse to grasp the fundamental mechanics of the universe at its most elemental level. Propelled by an insatiable thirst for intellectual enlightenment, he pursued his education with an unrelenting fervor. After completing his primary schooling in Karlovac, he matriculated in 1875 at the Austrian Polytechnic School in Graz. It was within these hallowed halls, amidst the rhythmic hum of generators and the low thrum of nascent electricity, that he began to meticulously conceptualize his true, groundbreaking vision. A pivotal moment arrived during a lecture, as a direct current, DC, motor was displayed and dissected before his eyes. It was at the very instant his professor emphasized the seemingly indispensable need for that motor's commutator, the device that reversed the current's direction, that a silent, intellectual rebellion ignited within Tesla's brilliant mind. In Tesla's profound perception, the prevailing DC system appeared inherently inefficient, prone to debilitating sparks, unduly restrictive, and, frankly, primitive. He dared to envision a vastly superior electrical world, one powered by alternating current, AC, where energy would be released and transmitted with unparalleled efficiency and raw power, traversing colossal distances with virtually negligible loss. He felt, with startling clarity, a vision of a motor take shape in his mind, a device that would operate flawlessly without a commutator, generating a continuous, smooth flow of power by ingeniously utilizing rotating magnetic fields. Though his professors, entrenched in conventional thought, dismissed this audacious idea as utterly preposterous, some even whispering about his burgeoning eccentricity, Tesla, undeterred, quietly nurtured and meticulously developed this revolutionary concept deep within the fertile chambers of his own mind. Despite his truly extraordinary academic accomplishments, Tesla's educational journey was fraught with profound adversity. A relentless regimen of overwork, severe sleep deprivation, and an almost obsessive preoccupation with his studies pushed him to the very brink of a nervous breakdown and a series of debilitating illnesses. Compounding these personal struggles, his family's financial circumstances were severely constrained, and Tesla, at times, plunged himself into further peril through gambling and other self-destructive habits, nearly jeopardizing his precious scholarship. Consequently, he departed from Graz without earning a formal diploma and in 1880 continued his studies in Prague, though crucially, without regular accreditation. This period, far from being a mere setback, proved to be a pivotal phase of introspection and profound maturation. He had not lost heart. For him, knowledge was not a mere bestowal, but an entity to be meticulously pursued, as if it were an imperceptible current, constantly filling the VE. He spent countless solitary nights poring over complex equations, and while wandering through silent forests, he envisioned turbines cascading like grand waterfalls, structures powered by lightning energy, and ingenious devices transmitting boundless knowledge through the ethereal expanse. Long before society even dared to conceive of such innovations, Tesla had already, quietly and profoundly, sensed them in his subconscious. His mind, in essence, was a sprawling, sophisticated laboratory, tirelessly designing the intricate technologies of the future. Yet, unconventional geniuses often find themselves not merely unnoticed, but outright scorned by conventional standards. His truly revolutionary ideas, though light years ahead of their time, were frequently met with profound skepticism, even outright ridicule. Despite this, he relentlessly pushed forward, eventually inventing and securing patents for technologies that would fundamentally reshape contemporary society. Despite the pervasive silence and profound incomprehension that enveloped him, Tesla pressed onward, driven by an almost mystical, deep-seated vision of the future, a future that no one else could possibly comprehend. Instead of a world shackled by tangled wires and smoky, inefficient systems, he envisioned a dynamic realm brimming with resonance, vibrant vibration, and pure, boundless light. This formative period marked the completion of the theoretical design for his AC motor, though he had yet to physically construct it. He understood that he had to seek out further opportunities, to find a fertile ground where his monumental dreams could finally take root. In the fateful year of 1884, a lean and intense 28-year-old Nikola Tesla set foot upon a new continent, the fabled land of opportunity, America. As his ship docked in New York Harbor, he possessed a meager 4 cents in his pocket, a mind overflowing with countless inventive concepts, and a crucial letter of recommendation addressed to the towering figure of Thomas Edison. The letter, penned by Charles Batchelor, Edison's former associate, lauded Tesla as one of the greatest men I have ever known. The city itself was a pulsating, chaotic tapestry, its crowded streets a cacophony of clamor, the metallic clang of industry, and the nascent hum of new, exhilarating electric lights. In this burgeoning domain, Edison reigned supreme, an undisputed monarch. Dubbed the Wizard of Menlo Park, Edison had already attained legendary status as the prolific creator of the phonograph and the indispensable incandescent light bulb. His burgeoning enterprise, the Edison Machine Works, was expanding with breathtaking rapidity, and Tesla, eager to contribute his brilliance, yearned to become an integral part of its fabric. As described in that pivotal letter as a genius, Tesla was swiftly employed by Edison. Initially, Tesla found himself profoundly impressed by Edison's relentless, almost obsessive work ethic, a tireless diligence that seemed to know no bounds. Both men shared a remarkable capacity for sustained effort and required remarkably little sleep, often dedicating themselves wholeheartedly to their work for just a few hours of nightly rest. However, their divergent paths, despite this singular commonality, rapidly began to diverge. Edison was, at his core, a pragmatic inventor. He subscribed wholeheartedly to the trial-and-error method, believing that the true path to discovery lay in the exhaustive experimentation with countless prototypes until the correct solution was painstakingly unearthed. Tesla, however, was fundamentally different. He chose a profoundly distinct path, preferring to meticulously conceptualize his inventions entirely within the confines of his own mind, perfecting every minute detail to absolute flawlessness. He would resolve every conceivable problem through the sheer power of his imagination, and only after this meticulous mental completion would he proceed to produce physical prototypes. This profound capacity for mental visualization stood in stark, almost spiritual contrast to Edison's tangible, empirically driven approach. It was during his tenure at Edison Machine Works that Tesla keenly observed significant inefficiencies within Edison's prevailing direct current (DC) dynamo system. He meticulously argued that the system demanded high maintenance, suffered from considerable energy loss, and could be rendered significantly safer and more efficient. He boldly proposed to Edison that he could redesign the entire system, encompassing 24 different types of dynamos and their generators, thereby rendering them far more efficient in terms of time, energy, and overall cost. Edison reportedly scoffed at this audacious idea. Some accounts even suggest that Edison, with a glint of amusement in his eye, offered Tesla a staggering $50,000, an astronomical sum, equivalent to millions of dollars in today's currency, if he could genuinely accomplish this formidable feat. Tesla, driven by his unwavering genius, dedicated months of intense, relentless labor to the task, ultimately achieving this monumental success. Yet, when the moment of payment arrived, Edison's response was chillingly cold and utterly ruthless. "I guess you don't understand American humor," he coolly, even mockingly remarked. The $50,000 was merely a joke. This was not merely a financial blow for Tesla, it was a profound personal insult, a bitter taste of betrayal that would forever shape his perception of the cutthroat world of invention and commerce. Disillusioned, feeling profoundly cheated and betrayed, Tesla abruptly resigned from Edison's company. This pivotal moment proved to be both liberating and agonizingly painful. Jobless, penniless, and aimlessly adrift on the bustling streets of Manhattan, he was forced to undertake manual labor, digging ditches for a paltry $2 a day simply to survive. His hands, once solely occupied with intricate equations and delicate designs, now endured the brutal hardships of physical toil. Yet, even while toiling in the mud, drenched in sweat, Nikola Tesla's thoughts continued to soar among the clouds, his mind ceaselessly envisioning grand wireless energy systems and intricate magnetic fields. This period, his ditch-digging phase, was not merely a physical struggle for him, but a profoundly brutal moment where his lofty dreams collided violently with the harsh, unforgiving realities of existence. Intriguingly, despite their well-documented and bitter rivalry, Tesla harbored no genuine animosity towards Edison. He merely perceived him as a non-creative, albeit diligent, individual. Edison's stance towards Tesla, however, was far more severe and deeply rooted. Edison either genuinely failed to grasp the monumental scope of Tesla's foresight or was simply too preoccupied, perhaps too invested in his own empire, to care. He simply could not, or would not, comprehend the immense potential of the AC system, sensing only that his entrenched DC empire was under imminent threat. This initial, profound parting of ways would inevitably ignite the fuse of one of history's greatest current wars, a conflict whose ultimate outcome would irrevocably determine how the modern world would be powered and illuminated. Despite this arduous beginning, Tesla never yielded, for his mind remained, steadfastly, a brilliant lantern, perpetually illuminating the future. Propelled by Edison's brutal rejection and an accompanying surge of personal resolve, Tesla made the fateful decision to bring his alternative current system to undeniable life. This was an almost unimaginable challenge, an audacious defiance against Thomas Edison, the most preeminent and widely celebrated inventor of the era. Having severed ties with Edison and utterly bereft of financial resources, Tesla endured a year of arduous manual labor, physically digging trenches to lay underground cables intended to illuminate the burgeoning city. Yet, even amidst those grim, physically demanding days, Tesla's innovative mind remained relentlessly active. In his scarce free moments, he meticulously drew sketches, further perfecting the intricate details of his AC motor entirely within the boundless expanse of his mind. Fortunately, fortune, in its unpredictable way, smiled upon him, and in 1887, crucial supporters who profoundly believed in his visionary concepts finally materialized. A consortium of astute financiers provided the necessary capital to establish the Tesla Electric Company. With this vital backing, Tesla swiftly set up a laboratory in Manhattan and commenced the rapid development of his AC motors. This was a technology that directly challenged Edison's direct current, enabling a remarkably efficient transmission of power over vast distances by ingeniously utilizing rotating magnetic fields and alternating currents. Tesla meticulously patented the fundamental components of the AC system, including the induction motor, the multi-phase system, and transformers, inventions that would become the very bedrock of modern electrical grids. These groundbreaking developments swiftly captured the discerning attention of industrialist George Westinghouse, who recognized, with startling clarity, Tesla's unparalleled potential to revolutionize the entire electrical field. Westinghouse, a visionary in his own right, immediately grasped the immense implications of Tesla's work. In 1888, he decisively licensed Tesla's patents, offering him a substantial sum of $60,000, which included over $2 million in stock and a considerable amount of cash, along with a crucial royalty of $2.50 for every horsepower generated. Westinghouse thus provided the essential financial backing and recognition, marking a monumental turning point in Tesla's entrepreneurial ventures. This pivotal partnership was, without a doubt, absolutely critical for the future widespread adoption and triumph of AC. However, Edison, consumed by a palpable fear of his DC empire's imminent collapse, launched a vicious and utterly ruthless public campaign against AC power. He perceived this not merely as a commercial rivalry, but as an existential threat, a clash of fundamental ideologies that swiftly escalated into a titanic struggle for the future of electricity. Edison embarked on a brutal, public smear campaign, orchestrating horrifying displays of animals being graphically electrocuted by AC current. He paraded unfortunate animals, dogs, cats, and even a majestic elephant named Topsy in public spectacles, subjecting them to AC shocks to horrifically demonstrate how dangerous and deadly this current supposedly was. He went as far as to advocate for the use of AC power in the electric chair, deliberately coining the chilling term execution current to irrevocably link AC with murder in the public's mind. Amidst these dramatic and often grotesque events, Tesla, remarkably, maintained his composure, holding steadfast to his unwavering belief in the purity and scientific integrity of his invention. He famously demonstrated his fearlessness by allowing AC current to pass through his own body in public, lighting bulbs from his hands, although Edison's relentless campaign instilled significant fear in the general populace. The bidding for the illumination project of the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago was ultimately awarded to Westinghouse and Tesla, providing an unparalleled opportunity for alternating current to prove its superiority on a grand stage. Outbidding Edison's more expensive DC proposal, Westinghouse secured the right to light the entire fair with AC in 1893. This monumental event became a decisive turning point, with over 100,000 electric light bulbs brilliantly illuminating the night sky, alongside a mesmerizing demonstration of Tesla's AC-powered machines. This was not merely a commercial triumph, it was a profound glimpse into the future, a spectacular preview of the modern city, brilliantly electrified. Following this resounding success, Tesla's system was chosen to harness the immense energy of Niagara Falls, leading directly to the establishment of the world's first truly large-scale hydroelectric power plant. By 1896, electricity was being transmitted from Niagara to Buffalo, New York, powering the city solely by the force of water and currents. Tesla emerged victorious in the brutal current wars, not through showmanship, but through sheer genius and profound foresight, managing to shift his focus even during a period of dwindling global interest in the ongoing conflict. This marked the ultimate triumph of his undeniable genius and the decisive failure of Edison's relentless, often cruel, campaign. However, even after this monumental victory, Tesla was destined to face other, far more brutal struggles. As he continued to innovate with a restless spirit, Tesla, having already electrified the very world, pondered his next grand challenge. Could he illuminate the sky itself, and indeed, the entire planet? Even as alternating current was widely adopted in burgeoning cities and across sprawling waterways, Tesla's ambition knew no bounds. Indifferent to stagnation, Tesla's visionary mind perceived resonance and an untapped, boundless energy permeating every corner of the planet. He idealized the concept of wireless transmission of both energy and information through the earth, the air, and the vast oceans. This was a concept so profoundly ahead of his time that it bordered on the ethereal. In the late 1890s, Tesla relocated to Colorado Springs, a vast, open expanse where he could contemplate his next groundbreaking endeavor. With access to immense, open skies and ample space for his decidedly unusual experiments, Tesla constructed a colossal laboratory on the desolate outskirts of the town. This laboratory famously housed a towering Tesla coil, an apparatus capable of generating immense, man-made lightning bolts that dramatically illuminated the night sky, visible for miles around. Acting much like a modern sorcerer, Tesla began his enigmatic work on controlling lightning itself, conducting breathtaking electrical displays that mesmerized and terrified onlookers. Speculations, wild and varied, quickly arose about his abilities. Was he truly manipulating the weather, or was he communing with unknown, perhaps extraterrestrial, forces? Sparks and ominous crackles were routinely observed around the laboratory, even notoriously causing fires at the town's power station due to the sheer magnitude of his experiments. Yet, undeterred by obstacles or public apprehension, Tesla meticulously documented his attempts to communicate with intelligent life forms beyond Earth, reflecting his unwavering belief in their existence through mysterious signal patterns he claimed to have received. During this period, he famously asserted that he had received signals from an extraterrestrial source, further solidifying both his unparalleled genius and his burgeoning reputation for eccentricity. Despite the profound skepticism from many regarding his esoteric work, Tesla did not waver. He continued to pursue his grand vision of a global network for energy transmission. He envisioned a future where vehicles would receive wireless power, entire cities would be bathed in light without wires, and seamless communication would be established between the most distant regions. This was a concept conceived long before the advent of radio or contemporary cellular towers. He essentially dreamed of a global internet that would transmit not just data, but boundless energy and sound. Despite Tesla's far-sighted dreams of universal energy distribution, investors, ever pragmatic, prioritized immediate profit over radical innovation. They sought patents and absolute control. They desired a system under their absolute control, one that could be metered and billed, rather than a free energy distribution system available to all without charge. In the vastness of Colorado, Tesla's pioneering ideas flourished, echoing within his colossal machines and towering structures, rising with the grandeur of immense, audacious dreams. However, as society generally gravitated towards conventional structures, rigid boundaries, and the allure of ownership, Tesla consistently found himself perpetually ahead of his time, an anomaly in a world not yet ready for his vision. Upon his return to New York, he brought with him not a definitive, tangible invention, but a profound, almost mystical vision. It was a blueprint of an invisible network, depicted through shimmering blue light rings and whispering frequencies, a potential realm ready to take form in the silent spaces between transmitted messages. Nikola Tesla's journey from Colorado to New York thus symbolized his relentless pursuit of a future society defined by universal interconnectedness and limitless energy potential. In Colorado Springs, the very seed of creating the world's first true wireless energy station took root within his extraordinary mind. His ultimate vision was not merely to transmit messages, but to send energy on a truly global scale. With an unshakable confidence in his eyes and meticulously detailed plans in hand, Tesla sought vital financial support from J.P. Morgan, one of the world's most influential and formidable financiers. Tesla proposed an extraordinary project, a colossal tower capable of establishing wireless communication across the vast expanse of the Atlantic, simultaneously connecting entire continents and ultimately providing free and abundant energy to the entire public. Morgan, intrigued by the prospect, agreed to fund the endeavor, operating under the crucial assumption that Tesla would focus exclusively on transatlantic radio communication, a profitable venture. In 1901, The construction of the Wardenclyffe Tower commenced on the northern shore of Long Island. Reaching a staggering height of 187 feet, approximately 57 meters, this intricately designed tower possessed a deep subterranean shaft, delving far into the earth, intended to support its massive vibrations and resonate with the planet itself. However, Tesla's deeper motivations and ultimate goals remained shrouded in mystery, obscured from Morgan's purely commercial gaze. Tesla was singularly focused on imagining a world where boundless energy could be effortlessly transmitted to ships traversing distant seas, and where villages, regardless of their remoteness, would be wirelessly illuminated, rendering the burdensome obligation of paying electricity bills obsolete. When Morgan, with his sharp, mercantile acumen, finally grasped Tesla's ultimate, audacious aim to distribute energy completely free of charge, his support abruptly faltered. As a shrewd businessman, Morgan famously asked Tesla if he intended to install a meter to bill for the energy. Since Tesla's revolutionary plan fundamentally included no such meter, this concept of free energy proved utterly incompatible with Morgan's profit-driven business model. The crucial funding was summarily cut. Concurrently, the world was rapidly evolving, and Guglielmo Marconi, famously leveraging Tesla's own foundational patents, effectively transmitted the first transatlantic radio signal, earning widespread acclaim from the media and ultimately a Nobel Prize. Meanwhile, Tesla's paramount importance began to tragically wane. He had been outmaneuvered not by superior intellect, but by the cold, hard realities of practicality and the brutal, unforgiving nature of the business world. Wardenclyffe Tower, the symbol of his grandest ambition, was never fully completed. The sprawling laboratory fell into a haunting silence, and the colossal transmitter remained unused for years, a stark monument to an incomprehensible, unattainable dream. In 1917, the tower was unceremoniously dismantled. During wartime, this majestic structure was stripped for its valuable components and sold for scrap, leaving Tesla to witness the decay and destruction of his greatest project, the potential liberation it offered humanity. Though the tower crumbled, Tesla steadfastly clung to his belief that the world would, one day, embrace this concept again. This was his vision of a harmonious future where energy flowed freely, like the wind, silent, boundless, and without profit, patiently awaiting a brave soul who dared to heed its quiet whispers. The tragic demolition of Wardenclyffe was, without doubt, the first truly profound and brutal defeat of Tesla's unparalleled genius at the hands of the relentless realities of commercial interests. By the 1920s, Nikola Tesla, once the luminary who electrified world fairs and commanded lightning for power, had tragically faded from his former glory. He was cast into profound shadow, largely erased from newspaper headlines, and his groundbreaking patents were either woefully neglected, unscrupulously sold off, or mistakenly, even deliberately, attributed to others. Edison's brutal rejection and an accompanying surge of personal resolve, Tesla made the fateful decision to bring his alternative current system to undeniable life. This was an almost unimaginable challenge, an audacious defiance against Thomas Edison, the most preeminent and widely celebrated inventor of the era. Having severed ties with Edison and utterly bereft of financial resources, Tesla endured a year of arduous manual labor, physically digging trenches to lay underground cables intended to illuminate the burgeoning city. Yet, even amidst those grim, physically demanding days, Tesla's innovative mind remained relentlessly active. In his scarce free moments, he meticulously drew sketches, further perfecting the intricate details of his AC motor entirely within the boundless expanse of his mind. Despite his undeniable victory in the brutal current wars against Edison, the devastating failure of Wardenclyffe and persistent financial destitution had profoundly scarred him. He spent the last 20 years of his life in a modest hotel room in New York City, often the Hotel New Yorker, continuing to dream amidst the evolving modern age. His frequent hotel changes, his difficulty paying his bills, and his erratic behavior were signs of his personal decline. Yet despite these hardships, Tesla continued to envision a world shaped by his pioneering ideas. While society progressed with cars, radios, and skyscrapers, many of which owed their value to his innovations, he was largely unappreciated. His name was lost in the rushing river of the modernizing world. Tesla's eccentricities grew more pronounced, bordering on the deeply peculiar. His obsessive meticulousness regarding cleanliness, his debilitating phobia of germs, his intricate dining rituals, such as meticulously chewing each mouthful precisely 27 times, and his aversion to being touched on his hair, all intensified. He insisted on dressing impeccably, even when basic needs like food were unmet, and he notably adhered to unique, almost ritualistic routines meticulously governed by his profound obsession with the number 3. His peculiar behaviors, far from being mere oddities, conformed to intricate patterns that others simply could not perceive, understood only by him. He lived, in essence, according to the universe's own complex, internal rhythms. Instead of seeking human companionship, Tesla found a profound, almost spiritual solace in his interactions with pigeons, particularly those he diligently fed in New York's public parks. A specific white pigeon, in particular, held a uniquely cherished place in his heart. He would affectionately care for it in Bryant Park, whispering to it as if it were his most trusted confidant. He claimed that this specific pigeon would visit him every night, even miraculously finding its way to his 20th-story hotel window, knowing that he loved it with an unparalleled depth. When the pigeon fell ill, he personally nursed it back to health with his own hands, even renting a special room to house it for its recovery. And upon its eventual demise, Tesla solemnly claimed to have witnessed a beam of light emanating from its eyes, a sign, he believed, symbolizing the culmination of his life's purpose. For Tesla, losing this singular companion was an unspeakable, brutal sorrow. Occasionally, during interviews with lingering newspaper reporters, he would voice bizarre, unsettling claims about death rays or messages from Martians, yet few truly paid him any serious attention. To most, he was simply a strange old man, sitting alone in a dusty hotel room, recounting unbelievable tales that defied common sense. Still, in Tesla's extraordinary mind, the universe was overflowing with vibration and frequency. While society largely ignored him, he remained dedicated, not for fleeting fame or fortune, but for an insatiable, burning curiosity to comprehend the unseen forces that profoundly bind us all. And so, high above Manhattan, in the pale, melancholic glow of a hotel lamp, the final, silent, and increasingly lonely chapters of a forgotten genius slowly, tragically, began to unfold. Nikola Tesla's death was not eventful, nor was it heralded by fanfare. There were no crowds, no grand speeches, no theatrical gestures, only a profound, echoing silence. On January 7, 1943, in room 30027 of the New Yorker Hotel, Tesla peacefully breathed his last at the age of 86. The following morning, a maid discovered his lifeless body lying serenely in his bed. The room was filled with a chaotic yet poignant collection of papers, notebooks, small, unfinished inventions, and the faint, almost imperceptible hum of neglected brilliance. He departed the world with few personal possessions and even fewer visitors in his final moments. His financial burdens had accumulated into a crushing weight, and his once illustrious name had largely faded from public memory. Yet, the profound concepts he bequeathed to humanity, scattered in dusty drawers, scribbled on book margins, hidden amid stacks of plans, would resonate far, far beyond the quiet confines of that hotel room. His death, in its stark simplicity, symbolized the tragic end of a monumental genius and his brutal, undeserved descent into obscurity. Upon receiving news of his death, the government swiftly intervened. The FBI, driven by deep concern that his records contained classified information, particularly those rumored to be related to his death ray project, promptly seized all of his papers and belongings. It was deemed too dangerous to leave them unprotected, given the volatile global climate of World War II. Speculations abounded. Had Tesla truly invented a deadly weapon of unimaginable power? Had he finally unleashed limitless, free energy? The truth, if it existed, remained hidden within his confiscated records, some coherent, some utterly enigmatic, and some forever lost to the dusty pages of time. Despite the profound ambiguity that clouded his final days, the world, slowly but surely, began to remember. Later that very year, in 1943, the U.S. Supreme Court decisively rejected Guglielmo Marconi's claim to the invention of radio, ultimately affirming Tesla's foundational patent and thereby granting him the long-overdue recognition he so rightfully deserved. This was a subtle yet monumentally important correction, meticulously concealed within legal jargon, a quiet vindication. The man who had once merely hinted at wireless possibilities had, at long last, been proven right. Nikola Tesla was laid to rest in a modest, understated ceremony, attended by only a faithful few companions and ardent admirers. There were no grand public ceremonies, no towering monuments erected in his immediate honor. Yet, those whose paths had intersected with his, who had borne witness to his magnificent works, or who had experienced the dazzling brilliance of his mind, grasped the immense magnitude of their loss. He had never pursued wealth or fleeting fame. Rather, he was driven by an insatiable quest for discovery, an unending pursuit of the unknown, and an innate desire to find beauty within the intricate patterns of light and sound. Despite the profound loneliness that enveloped his final years, Tesla always maintained. Today, his indelible influence is felt everywhere, pervasive and profound, in the familiar crackling of power lines overhead, in the ubiquitous wireless signals that blanket the globe, in the countless cordless devices we hold in our hands, and amidst the imperceptible yet powerful technologies nestled within our very pockets. Alternating current, remote controls, radio waves, induction motors, neon lights, all bear the unmistakable imprint of his singular genius. He envisioned the Earth not merely as solid rock and inert soil, but rather as a vast, living conductor, an immense storage reservoir for untapped, boundless energy. Energy that, in his brilliant mind, was perpetually ready to be captured, freely shared, and profoundly understood by all. His visionary blueprint for the future foresaw a world built not with cumbersome wires, but with the elegant power of resonance, a world established not by rigid control, but by universal unity and harmonious connection. While countless others reaped immense profits from his pioneering concepts, Tesla himself never pursued personal wealth. Despite dying with meager financial fortune, he harbored no bitterness, no lingering resentment. He held an unshakable conviction that ideals were meant for everyone, that knowledge, like a mighty lighthouse, was meant to illuminate the path for all. Slowly, incrementally, he maintained an unwavering faith that his current, would eventually flow freely and perpetually. Indeed, years after his passing, his profound influence began to powerfully re-emerge. Academics, visionary inventors, and diligent historians painstakingly re-evaluated his monumental contributions. Monuments were finally erected in his honor, a vast body of literature was produced, and esteemed educational institutions proudly bore his name. In the modern era, his extraordinary legacy has been powerfully rekindled. His name is now indelibly etched onto electric vehicles, into the very architecture of Cuddy. So tonight, as you begin to drift off to sleep, and the persistent clamor of the day slowly, serenely fades away, hold this profound thought close to your mind. In the ethereal space between enveloping silence and crackling electricity, between the boundless realm of scientific discovery and profound wonder, the very essence of Nikola Tesla gently, timelessly echoes. Imperceptible, yet ever-present, and eternally eager to be appreciated. We sincerely hope this extensive and deeply detailed, brutal journey into the life of Nikola Tesla has brought both tranquility to your mind and invaluable new insights. If you enjoyed this in-depth episode tonight, and wish to continue exploring such profound historical narratives, please do not forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support is instrumental in helping us grow our community of history enthusiasts. Furthermore, please inspire us with your comments. Share with us in the comments section which topics or which brutal historical figures you would like us to explore in our next sleep time history journey. Your suggestions are incredibly valuable to us and directly help shape the future direction of our channel. Until our next episode, good night, and may you have deep, restorative sleep.